Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice and to another Dimash Monday. Pursuant to my promise, I am continuing with Dimash videos because he's awesome, but also I promised you guys, so I'm going to keep doing it. So we're going to be taking a look today at a song that not a ton of people know about. This song really fascinates me though. It's from one of the most successful musicals of all time. I think it probably is the most successful musical in France too. Notre Dame de Paris, which is based on The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And the song is Tu vas me détruire, you're going to destroy me, is how that translates. This is sung by the pastor Pope guy, Frollo, I think is his name. And he sings it while watching Esmeralda about the lust that he feels and how that's going to destroy him. This is particularly important because in the musical, this is sung by one man. But in this video, it's going to be sung by two men, Dimash and another singer I've never heard before. His name is Sundet Baigozhin, I think, Baigozhin. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong, please. And he's like a legit opera singer. He sings at the Astana Opera in Kazakhstan regularly. He's also been at other opera houses in Europe quite a bit. So I'm excited to hear his voice and excited to hear how that mixes with Dimash. Dimash usually sings more on a microphone, so it's a bit of a different kind of vocal training overall that the two of them are doing. And I'm really curious how they're going to blend that. Let's get to it.
Je sens ma vie qui bascule vers une terre inconnue. Je vois la foule qui recoule quand je marche dans la rue. Je suis un ami, un ami.
A couple of really interesting things before he starts singing. So that was Sundet speaking at the beginning. Very nice, deep, profound voice there. I'm liking the instrumental choice here. This is different from the original musical, definitely another arrangement, of course. I'm getting these really strong vibes of Eugene Onegin right now. If you know that opera, you probably know what I'm talking about. There is a duel scene that is often set in the snow, and Onegin and Linsky essentially shoot. Onegin shoots Linsky, and Linsky misses. But that's a setting of the two of them essentially fighting over a girl. So I think that is how this is playing out. I think it's sort of hearkening back to that, and that Dimash and Sundet are essentially playing two men that are probably fighting over something in some sort of duel format.
Cet océan de passion qui déferle dans mes veins, qui creuse ma déraison, ma déroute, ma dévain. Doucement j'y plongerai, sans qu'une me retienne. Lentement je m'y noierai, sans qu'un remords ne me vienne. Tu vas me détruire, et je vais te me dire jusqu'à la fin de ma vie. Tu vas me détruire. J'aurais pour le prédire dès le premier jour, dès la première nuit. Tu vas me détruire.
Oh yeah, definitely a duel setting. His voice is really creamy. It's really lovely. I love the resonance on it. There's this thing that you tend to hear, especially in baritone voices in opera, I think most often, where when they go up high, they don't go forward as much as a lot of other styles of singing, and they'll go up kind of like into this dome more. And so when they have cries, they feel like cries that are like more full in the body, in the voice. So when you heard him going up high there, it sounded sobby, just like a different, like full body, just like reeking sobby kind of sound. I I really like that kind of sound. It's one of the sounds that I like most in opera, and I'm delighted to hear it here. Let's go back a little bit more so you can listen to that a few more times. Oh, also, I like his French a lot. He's got a nice way of lightening up on certain syllables that don't need as much emphasis, and it's just very clear while not disrupting any of the vocal line. Now let's go back a little more.
Et je vais te me dire jusqu'à la fin de ma vie. Tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire. J'aurais pu le prédire dès le premier jour, dès la première nuit. Tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire.
Mon péché, mon obsession, désir fou qui me tourmente, qui me tourne à dérision, qui me déchire moi. Petite marche d'illusion, je n'ai vu que dans l'attaque, devant voler tout je prends, et que dis dans cette chante, tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire, et je vais te maudire jusqu'à la fin de ma vie. Tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire. J'aurais pu le prédire dès le premier jour, dès la première nuit. Tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire.
This is a nice blend of those voices already. They haven't even sung together. We know it's going to be great. Definitely Dimash's voice has the higher timbre overall, right? And Sundet has that lower profoundness to his tone. I really like hearing there's a little more vibrato that's happening in Dimash's voice. This is also kind of early, I think, earlier on Dimash. I think this was around the same time as Singer, so probably, I think we're around 2017. Definitely pipe in the comments below. Let me know if that's correct or not. So with Dimash here, his lower tone actually opened up a lot more later on when he started playing a lot more with his vocal fry and extension of his range down there. So I'm guessing that we're going to get some high parts of Dimash coming in a lot more because that's going to be where he really excels within this pairing. He's got some really nice, what I would call like a wider vibrato that's happening in here as well that lends itself much more to an operatic style. And this is interesting because this song is from a musical. This is not an aria. This is from a musical, though it is leaning much more towards classical singing rather than like a rock musical or something like Hamilton today. So it does require a little bit more of a classical style of singing, but a lot of the originals or versions I've heard of this song, they do have a lot more of that forward placement, whereas these two guys with their blend are going for more of that operatic style. Let's keep going. Woo! Whoa, that was a particularly gorgeous section of falsetto for Dimash. It was a lot of times this falsetto has a little more air, and this one, well, it kind of depends. Sometimes uses a reinforced falsetto, but this one, it almost felt like a siren in the way that was just so pure. He also had amazing breath control there. Falsetto often expends more air than other registers of the voice, except for the very, very bottom bass register that you would find in a male's voice. But falsetto does change the position in your larynx and often has more air come through it. But that didn't seem like it got in the way of Dimash's sound. He seems like he has really good closure and is able to just continue on one breath very well. Let's go back and listen to that one more time. One breath. Wow, that was all one breath.
vas me
Right?
détruire.
All one breath. Wow. Wow. I feel like that right there is proof that Dimash would have had an amazing career if he'd wanted to be a countertenor. He would have been just worldwide famous as a countertenor in opera. But obviously he's chosen another path, and he still is able to do that. If he ever wants to go back to singing countertenor in opera, it would still be incredible. That was really, really gorgeous. Also, I really like Sundet's vowel. I know that's a weird thing to nerd out about, but that vowel had a beautiful combination of chiaroscuro, meaning that it had really bright buzz in the front and a lot of buzz back here. So he had the two buzzy spots just hooked in his resonance, and he stayed there the whole time while shaping it with emotion and vibrato. It was really, really, really nice. Let's go back.
Croyais libre, me voici en Québec. Moi qui me croyais libre, rentré de feu de la chair. Je m'enflamme et me consume pour les yeux d'une étrangère qui est bien plus de mystère que la lumière de la rue. Tu vas me détruire,
Nice.
tu vas me détruire, et je me demander jusqu'à la fin de ma vie. Tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire. Je ne pourrai pas dès le premier jour de la première nuit. Tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire, tu vas me détruire.
So clearly you can tell that the audio is not matching up with their lips here. I don't ever think that that is necessarily proof that the audio isn't the same audio from the performance. When you are editing videos or doing any sort of production on them, which they had to edit a ton of different clips here together, there is a necessary realignment of the audio that needs to be done, and sometimes that's not done very well. But it is possible that they did this in a different setting and then the audio was put over it. I really can't tell here. However, I do know that Dimash really does sing this well live as well, because we've seen so many videos where it couldn't possibly have been lip synced the way that he did it. So I'm not sure what this video's deal is, but I just want to give note that it might be real. It might be taken from a different performance. I'm not sure. Let's go back though. One of the things I noticed in this section is that Dimash sounds more like a pop artist in the top than the opera. So an operatic tenor. And keep in mind, Dimash has been crossing over and doing like countertenor and tenor. He sometimes even drops down into baritone. He can really cover a lot of ground. And so sometimes when he goes up to the top, it's that thing where he goes a lot more forward in the tone. He doesn't have as much of that domey-ness that you can hear in Sundet's voice. That's just a choice in style, and it's not better or worse. It's just interesting to listen to how Dimash's sound is more forward in this duet part, and you feel Sundet's kind of more like all the way around. Check it out. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. Okay. So yeah, definitely a duel. Whoa. Whoa. I loved that as Sundet was singing the bottom part at the end with the words, the way that Dimash did his riffs on top, they were haunting. That was just such a fun mix of the style up there. Oh, really, really, really cool and really effective ending. Thank you for letting me totally nerd out about that with you. I know it seems like tiny differences in their voices, but like that's the kind of stuff that I just love digging into. And it was so fun to really have someone who's trained primarily as an opera singer and someone who has trained more as a crossover singer and hear different ways that they chose to sing that. That's not saying that either of them couldn't switch to another style, but they decided that that was the way that they wanted to perform it. And I thought that the mix was really fascinating. And it was really cool to see this arranged into a duet format, especially as a duel. I think that that is fascinating because yes, in the song when he sings it, it's about the girl, right? It's about Esmeralda destroying him. And I feel like it's even more real if it's a duet about two men that are dueling. So I really think that was a fantastic idea. Kudos to whoever came up with that. And thank you all so much for recommendations and also for your love of Dimash. He's a really awesome guy, great singer too. And I really appreciate knowing what songs you would like to hear that I haven't done of Dimash's next. So please continue to make those comments below this video and also come say hello to me on YouTube on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. Arizona time. You can also find me on Patreon and at thecharismaticvoice.com. See you somewhere soon.